What's the worst country to vacation to right now? Any country officially at war. Even if it's safe in certain areas, it's always risk if the airport is shut down. Haiti. Myanmar would be pretty terrible right now. I had expectations before looking at the comments, and those expectations were fulfilled. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Haiti, Somalia, Ukraine, etc. are no-go zones. Personally, I'm curious to hear about unexpected countries, i.e. places that under normal circumstances would be on someone's travel radar, but for one reason or another are not advisable to visit right now. I'll give an example: Ecuador. Beautiful beaches, gorgeous mountains, and quaint colonial towns. But in the last year the gang violence has spiraled to unimaginable levels, and unless you have specific knowledge of certain locales, or have made extraordinary precautions for your safety, it's simply not a safe place to go for the time being. Any examples like that come to mind? Every time these threads come up, the answers are: 1. Failed states like Somalia and Haiti. 2. Countries at war like Ukraine. 3. Egypt. Why the hell is Egypt just permanently horrible to tourists? Gotta be Somalia. I don't think the US State Department has as stern of language about any other country. It basically sums up to prepare your will and discuss it with your family, because you'll most likely be kidnapped and murdered. Other places wouldn't be fun, but I'd survive. North Korea, assuming you get a tourist visa and entry into the country, you'll be kept strictly in the tourist areas and only shown what they want you to see. Ukraine, I'd steer clear of Donetsk and Luhansk, but I'd probably be fine in Kiev and other western cities. I'll never forget the time I, an American, was in Tanzania and trying to arrange passage to Madagascar via a shipping vessel. I met someone who knew someone who knew someone who could get me on the ship for very cheap. Eventually, the captain told me he would grant me passage, but warned me that if pirates boarded their ship, they would likely take me with them and hold me hostage. I didn't fully trust that the crew/captain wouldn't sell me to the pirates, haha, so I never did make that trip. Amsterdam was a nice alternative though. Niger, or actually all of the countries in the Ku belt of Africa. Never leave the hotel in Egypt as an underage girl without your parents. Even if you're with them, you probably will be followed and hit on by older creeps, but they won't do anything when you're not alone. My Venezuelan friends tell me, Venezuela. It's gotta be Somalia. I don't think I'm exaggerating when anyone from a well-off country flying there for a vacation will most likely be killed for their phones, wallets, and bags, or held hostage for ransom, without a heavily armed escort. South Sudan or Haiti for sure. Paris this summer for the Olympics. Crowded, and even if you're avoiding the games, prices are probably jacked up all over the city. Guess what's great though? Finland. Summer is in full bloom and everyone's actually happy. Congo. There are kids, 22-year-olds, from Utah that were convinced to take a summer job in the Congo and then were asked to take part of a coup. Yeah, college kids were talked into a summer job in the Congo and now they're imprisoned because the job was to overthrow the current president of the Congo. New Caledonia. Until a few weeks ago it was a popular tourist destination. Now with the civil unrest they have had to evacuate the tourists. All South Asian countries, there's a heat wave. I feel like no one's really answering the question well. I mean, who usually goes to Haiti for vacation? Stop naming countries with crazy crime. I wanna know why visiting France would suck. Sudan. And Korea. The USA Travel Advisory says that if you plan on going to Somalia you should write a will and notify everyone you know about it. Egypt is almost always the number one answer, LOL. I don't think Yemen would be a good idea right now. Norway. The tourist season is starting and they are blocking up the narrow fjord roads in their RVs, stopping every 5 minutes. to take pics of random waterfalls, stopping the hundreds of buses hauling passengers from cruise ships up the mountains from the fjords, making the average local Norwegian named Nils trying to go somewhere stuck behind all of them. He actually gets so angry that he finally shows an emotion and lets out an angry sigh that no one hears. In his mind he curses the Swedes and the Danes for some reason for his ill fortunes. He was just trying to drive to the pharmacy one mountain pass over to the next town to get his wife Hilda some acid reflux medicine because they tried adding spice to their cake dinner the previous evening. Then you come along as a tourist in a car behind Nils and all the clusterfuck before him. You can't see the hordes of buses and German tourists in their RVs before him around the next bend. Let alone the intense, almost psychotic debate in his mind about who he hates more, the Danes or the Swedes. And the endless questions of why his wife wanted to spice up the cake dinner. You just see Nils's car stopped in front of you and you make the mistake of honking your horn. Somalia seems absurdly dangerous from what I hear. Egypt. Fuck that place. Everyone is mentioning war and danger, but I'd like to zone in on the use of vacation instead of travel. Somewhere you will not be comfortable right now is any hot humid country near the equator. For example, Pakistan. This is the hottest and deadliest summer on record. Thousands are dying every day of heat stroke and dehydration. Temperatures reach over 50 daily, in a humid country where the heat actually sticks to you and doesn't let go. Not to mention the pollution in high-density cities creating a localized greenhouse effect as well. People naming actual batshit countries. Meanwhile, I wouldn't even go to Detroit. I just saw a video on Turkmenistan which described what a horrid place that is. I'll add that to the list, though I doubt anyone had it on their bucket list. They even have strict rules against visitors, but I have to wonder whether that is even necessary. South Sudan is not a nice place right now. Thank God no one has mentioned Nigeria. I'm going there next week to marry a prince. We met online via crazy circumstances. I'd say probably any that the State Department has listed as level 4, do not travel. Even level 3s I'd be wary of, although Jamaica is a popular tourist destination. The East Antarctica Plateau is -144 F, so probably there. Shouldn't these countries be categorized by ones that you just shouldn't travel to, that you would never vacation in, and countries that you could vacation in but aren't pleasant for one reason or another? For example, I don't think many people are going to vacation in Haiti even though it's in the Caribbean. A country people would vacation to that I've heard isn't great to tourists is Egypt. Egypt. As a single woman, India. I have always wanted to go, but when I started looking into it recently, there's no way. Pretty much any country where the only people you see on the streets are men, I'm not interested in going to. According to this, it was Mogadishu, Somalia in 2010. https://newsfeed.time.com/2010/12/1-2/1-3/Somalia-gets-officials-r-officials Probably Haiti. Egypt. It's dangerous AF. The country is beautiful but the people zipper-mouth face. Somalia. There's a warning from the government telling travelers not to go there.